Hi, I'm Mark from Mark of the Cyberbeast, and this week we're going to show you the installation and the really cool Hansshow front bumper to really make your truck a man's truck with this front massive bumper. So stay tuned. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to you about the install of this product, but I first want to go into a couple things about the Hansshow front bumper guard, because this is a sturdy and robust bumper guard kit. This box is almost 45 pounds, okay? FedEx or UPS who delivers it is not going to be real happy bringing this up your stairs. It's a very heavy, very durable bumper kit. So when you put this on, you're going to be driving with authority, because this is something that's very robust. And I'm going to explain something else to you. There is a pro and a con with this. The pro is that it installs through this tow hook right here, which makes it very, very sturdy. It's going to stay on there. It's going to push if you have to with authority. The con, you're not going to be able to utilize this tow hitch or this pull hitch anymore. So usually not a big deal. This is only to pull you out of a, if you're stuck in a 4x4 wheeling off-road, is usually what people use this for, to pull you out. So really it's not so much of a big loss to lose this access, but that's okay. It's going to be held on very securely. Now I want to tell you what I did first. I first installed the driver's side or left side, or right side I should say. The right side is the driver's side. The left side, I just said that again. The right side is the passenger side. The left side is the driver's side. So everything's gonna be labeled R or L. R is your passenger side. L is your driver's side. So we installed the right side, and I also installed half of the front bumper, and we're gonna install the other half of the front bumper. In fact, we can do that first, and then we'll go into how everything installs there. So how this all installs, I'm going to get some of the parts here. Now the videos they have for installing this I've seen on YouTube are simply not complete. They're not the best. So hopefully you can watch this one and learn. You're going to get lock washers and flat washers, okay? You always, on all of your devices, you put your lock washer in first and then your regular washer in behind it, okay? They don't really tell you that in the videos or in the instruction manual, but that's how you do it. Now, on all of your bars, the Allen key, the Allen bolt is already going to be installed. So you're going to pull that out, put your washers in, and the long bars are both identical. They're the same size. Doesn't matter which way you go. The end sides, the longer one, okay, goes on top. This is the shorter one. This goes on bottom, top, bottom. So this would be the left side or driver's side that we're installing. Now, this big heavy piece is what combines and attaches everything together. What you want to do first, okay, is with your Allen key that they give you. And by the way, a shout out to Hansshow. I want to make sure I give them due credit. They will give you a 13mm wrench, and they will give you the socket tools to use this. But if you watched my running board video from Hansshow, where we did the installation, I showed you the quick and easy way to install those running boards. I talked to you about getting a Milwaukee cordless ratchet. And this is, look, guys, step up your man card. You got a truck now, okay? Get the real tools. You just got to have one of these things. They're great. They're rechargeable. They take these M12 batteries, or they last a long time. To get extra batteries, extra chargers, you'll use them around your house. You've got a truck now. You'll be using it for a lot more things. Now, what you do is you've got this big ass device, right? This is the heavy part, and you're going to see it says HL for left hand and left, okay? Now, what you're going to see here is how this goes. I'm going to show you ahead of time. These two right in here, it sandwiches right in there. And you're going to know which one's top and which one is bottom, because you've got this bolt right here, okay? And if you look, you've got two big bolts that they give you, these really big bolts. And that is what goes in through here, okay? So that's gonna be your bolt that connects and attaches onto here. So just so you know how it goes, now this is actually gonna be the left side, so this is gonna be the other side. So it's gonna go in just like this, but it's gonna be looking better because it's the right side, but it's gonna sandwich right in once it's complete. So this, since this is the left-hand side, this is gonna go on this side, and that's the right side, and that's gonna go over there. Now, I always tell you about staging everything. So when you take your Allen bolts off everything, just go ahead and get all of your washers installed, have everything in place and lined up. This is going to be the part that sandwiches right on that tow hitch. So we're going to put this right here. Now, other thing you're going to have is a long bolt with which you're going to go ahead and, again, prep everything. Your washers right on top of there. And that's going to be for that along with this nut. And again, these two really big ones are for putting this onto here at the very end. So, as I mentioned, we're going to come over here and we're going to finish installing these Nerf bars in the front, and then we're going to go ahead and put that last piece in and attach it all. Okay, so I just want to take another minute to explain this so you do this one time and not twice. So this is the driver's side, or the L, the left side. And again, this goes, just like you see the other one, up like this. Everything goes up like a U. This is going to go in the same way, rest in between there, U on U. So that bolt that's attached right on in there is on the top. So it's going to go in like this. So this is the left side, and you'll see it says HL. HL is on the bottom, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is, you're going to do first is put on, we talked about the longer side being on the top is going to go through here. You're going to do this side first before you do the middle. And you're going to put your Allen bolts in. And it definitely helps to have the foam so you don't scratch your nice new bumper. And what I would do is simply finger tighten it the best you can. And I'm going to show you a little secret I learned doing the other side. So again, you go ahead and you finger tighten. This is going to be the top. And they give you an Allen wrench, which I put right here. So what we're going to do, take the long side in on the top one and turn it. And remember that lock washer, you're going to want to get that nice and tight and flat in there. And then you're going to go back in here like this and finish tightening it with another quarter turn or so, maybe half turn. Not a whole lot of room in here to work with, especially when you have big hands. You can't get in here a long way with this, so you're going to have to just do it this way and manually turn this several times. And the good thing about this bumper guard is that it's really going to protect that plastic in front, which you easily could damage in a parking lot, especially with these idiots who park there, right? Now, with these long pieces, you're not going to tighten them in. You're going to drop them in, and you're pretty much going to hand tighten it. A little hard to see when you got the sun in your eyes. Okay. That's how it's going to look. And I say not to over tighten them, but you really want to get a really strong finger tight on there. And maybe I might Allen wrench it just a tad, but I'm going to put it on there for testing purposes first before I look at tightening up any more. Okay, I'm gonna hold that to the side. What you are gonna need is a straight screwdriver. And you're gonna sit down, and you've got this plastic piece around the tow hook. And actually what I found easiest, rather than use these two slots up front on top, I found going in the side and popping these off. And it comes right off just like that. And you've got a 10mm bolt here from the factory you're gonna reuse. So I use my Milwaukee. Pop it right off. And this piece you'll save for another day in case you ever take these off. Now you're also going to want to keep that screwdriver handy, because you're going to need to, this is going to go in behind the plastic over here. So to do that, you're first going to want to pull this down, but you're also going to get your screwdriver back there and pry it open. This is going to go on top and go behind that plastic right here where you pull the bolt out of. And there it goes, just like that. Give it a little push. Alrighty. Now you've also got the bottom piece, which looks like this. And again, the easiest thing to remember, it's always like a U, okay? And this is going to go right up in here, and your long bolt's going to go on in there. But first, what I would do, you got to get this guy back in here, but you don't want to over tighten it first. You want to make sure it lines up with that plastic that you moved out of the way. And that's where you have to do a little finagling. And the sun is still in my eyes, so it's going to be a little challenging for me. Hopefully it's easier for you. You're not filming it. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this thing started and finger tighten it. You never want to use a Milwaukee and start it off. You always want to finger tighten things first. And I see it right there. I just need to move it over just a hair. And see if I can get that thing started. I think I got it started. Okay, and you've got your long bolt and nut. What you want to do is make sure this fits in there first. It does. Now you can go ahead and tighten up this 10mm. Okay, and this is going to go right through here and tighten that bottom one in. And this is going to sandwich right around that tow hook. That's what's going to give it its real strength. Some of the other ones attach differently, I think. I like the fact this attaches to the tow hook. I've never used a tow hook in any of my trucks. Then again, I don't go off-roading. I use it strictly for Home Depot. Now, the other tool I'm going to have you guys use, they give you a wrench. I've got one of these ratchet wrenches, and I love it because, as you'll see, remember it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I get to put this on here like this, and this makes my job a lot easier versus having to take it off and put it on each time. I just go back and forth. And what you'll see is your lock washer start to tighten up, because if you take this off, you'll see there's a space there. It's your lock washer. You want to get that nice and tight and nice and flat. So this is going to be going back and forth quite a bit, and that's why that ratchet comes in handy. But you got to be careful you don't shred the gears. So that's where you'll want to turn both of them, and then really just turn the top one like you see me doing. You don't have to go crazy over tightening it, but you do want to make sure it's nice and solid. It should be nice and flush on here. You should see Everything sandwich it real nice and tight like that. This is not going anywhere. These are both on there really good, really strong bolts. Now, I want to just get a fitment on this because, again, I finger tighten these. I may want to tighten them a little bit more. If you've seen some other videos, you'll see a lot of times they use a two-man job for this. You can see it's really just a one-man job. It's not really that difficult. And this is going to go in there pretty well. See how this moves still? I want to make sure these bolts line up first. So I'm going to get underneath there and see. That looks good. And just so you know, you're going to want to use the longer version of this. So that's what you're going to use for that. But I'm going to take this off, make this a little tighter. I'm not going to make it tight. I'm just going to make it snugger. More snug. And you'll probably want to keep it flat like this so these angles don't turn too much. Because this was probably a bit loose, finger tighten them. Okay, I'm just going to turn it upside down. I want to keep it flat. I want to make sure that the angle is correct. And again, I don't want to go too snug. Again, Hansshow does give you all the tools, which makes it nice. If you watch my running board video, that is definitely a nice running board. I just like using that Milwaukee ratchet, power ratchet. Makes your job so much easier, quicker, especially with the running boards. Made it so much easier and quicker with those running boards. Which if you have not gotten those yet, get them. Your wife will love them. If you have kids or dogs, they'll love them too, because it does make getting in a little bit easier. All right, that might be a little tighter than I wanted, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Okay, that looks snug. Another use for this, so you don't get your shirt all mucky up. There you go. Perfect. And in case you were curious, there's a little bit of blue on those bolts. That's actually what we call Loctite. It helps keep everything nice and firm. It kind of locks it in place, and it's blue Loctite. All right, I just kind of got it started. It's in there fairly tight, but not overly, and you'll see why. I like to get things in there snug first, and then firmly tighten it in once both sides are in. That's generally best practice. We talked about that in the running board video. You want to not tighten completely one side and then go to the other. You kind of want to get it in there snug. And then get the other side in there and then come in for a final tight. It's a 15 or 14, let's see. Okay, it's actually a 15 millimeter socket. So you got 13s, 10s, and you'll need a 15 for these two big bolts. Now, a good thing about the 15 is that you can torque it pretty hard because it definitely needs more tightening. The bigger the nut, the tighter you can torque it. I'm gonna go manual for the last few because I'm gonna make sure I get this thing nice and tight. Remember, it's always righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I know a couple of other videos, they mentioned the direction to turn it, but always righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And always check your ratchet before you start it so you don't over-tighten or loosen something up that you don't want to. Alrighty, that's on there mark tight, and this thing is on there pretty darn firm. Everything on here looks good. Little scrape I got, I guess, from turning it upside down. Hopefully that'll buff out. But that was a quick install, and this still needs to go a little tighter, it looks like. We'll go a little tighter more, but this looks good. We're gonna have a real truck with a real bumper guard. And by the way, yesterday I was at a Tesla store in Aventura, Florida, and I did a test drive of the all-wheel drive Cybertruck, and I can tell you for certain, I am so glad I got the Cyberbeast because it really is so much faster. Anyway, Hansshow bumper guard. This thing is legit, looks good, looks stylish. I'm not afraid to push someone out of my way now. This thing is on here, it's tight, right against the tow hooks. How long did you see it took me to install? Again, I installed the passenger right-hand side before you came onto the video, but I walked through the video, did this whole thing, what, 10, 15 minutes? Pretty straightforward. Spend the money, get a Milwaukee, and wouldn't hurt for a ratchet, wrench, all comes in handy. I thank you very much. Now next week, we've got a couple new episodes coming up with the caliber covers. We also are going to be filming a few episodes on the Tesla Power Share, so you can power your house with your Cybertruck, and our Cyber polish we'll be doing. I appreciate you coming by. Hit like, comment, subscribe below. We'll see you again next week.